I like trans people. I often think they shouldn't stop transitioning. Keep going. Transition more. You ever see a trans person and think to yourself, they could do with more? Let me explain. So when a man becomes a woman, and I will call you a woman, or them, they, her, whatever you want to be called, I got all day, I don't give a fuck. I'll call you whatever you want. I regard you as a woman. You have made the decision to change. I regard you as a woman. So the surgery, they have to do this, right? The first thing they do is they take the hormones. It lowers the bone density, raises the voice a little bit. Then they go get the surgery. So the first thing they do is they cut the dick off and they put that on a plate. For the life of me, I don't know why people laugh when I say you put that on a plate. What did you want me to do in this scenario? They cut the dick off and they chuck it. Of course there's a fucking plate. So they cut the dick off. Now they have to make a hole. So they get a spoon and at this stage I should mention that I'm not a doctor. I have no formal medical training to speak of. I just know this happens. So, they shovel a hole. But that's just a hole. That's not realistic. You need flaps. And that's where the dick meat comes into play. So they julienne some dick strips. And they get some 3M double-sided tape. And they put 2 on this side and 1 on that side. Because I don't know a lot about cunts, but I know they're not symmetrical. So then they've made it, right? That's all really, that's good now, it's good. So then they grow their hair long, they make sure they're clean shaven, right? Then they get the fake tits. Now here is my problem where they don't transition enough. They always get perfect tits. Believe me. They always get perfect tits. And that's not the real female experience. They want to be a real woman, they got to get one titty slightly bigger than the other. And a nipple covering one for no reason. You do that, you can play any sport you want, I reckon. Then the next one, so a woman becoming a man, how would they would have to, you'd fill that in, wouldn't you? You'd fill it in. Cement. Let's tell some stories. This first story involves my friend DJ Qualls, right? You might know him as the skinny guy from Road Trip, or for Hustle and Flow, or more importantly, Billy from Legit, right? So DJ's gay, right? I can tell this story, he knows. He's well aware. Oh, also, if there are any gay people in the room this evening, welcome. I big fan of the gay community. I've always been pro-gay. I studied musical theatre at university. I grew up in Sydney, one of the gayest cities on earth. Me and the gays, we're down. In fact, I'd say I'm an advocate. They have not said that. I like the gays, I like the LGBTQ community. I like them all. I like the L, the B, the G, the T, the Q, in equal measures. I don't even have a favourite. I like them all equally. I support them all equally. As individual groups, I do not support them as a collective group. Because they have fucking nothing in common. You have one bloke who's like, I like sucking dicks. And another guy goes, oh. So my point is, DJ's gay, right? So, now, this is actually the story of how DJ Qualls came out of the closet. I knew he was gay, his friends knew he was gay, but he hadn't told the public. Me and DJ went to see Elton John in concert on Elton John's farewell tour, right? So we're sitting there. Yeah, I'll take any cheer I can get. Anyway, so we went to the concert, we're sitting there, and Elton's at the piano, and the band leaves the stage, and now it's just Elton, a piano, and a spotlight, nothing else. And Elton says, this will be the final song I perform this evening. Now, of course, it wasn't. He was doing that cunty thing that musicians do. Like, fucking how long as a society are we gonna play their fucking game? Every single concert we go to. No. Don't go. You know they're coming back, but when they come back, we always act surprised. Oh! We did it! I was sitting next to a young fella, it was maybe one of his first concerts. He's there with his dad, maybe 15 years old. And Elton said, this will be the final song I perform this evening. And the kid just lost his mind and went, no, Elton! No! And I was like, calm the fuck down, mate. He hasn't sung Rocket Man yet. So we're there. It's a 3-hour mark, and Elton, right, he says, he gives a 10-minute speech, a beautiful speech, farewell tour. He says, thank you so much for following my 50-year career. Thank you so much for buying the albums and hearing the music. Without you listening to the songs, me writing them is inconsequential, and I love you. You're the greatest fans a person could have. And it was a beautiful speech, right? Very long, but it was a beautiful speech. And I turned to DJ and I went, I should do that. And he said, do what? And I said, I should thank the people who come to see me. I never do that. I just tell my jokes and piss off. I don't do that. And he turns to me and goes, yeah, but with your fan base, someone would just yell out, bag, like that. And as he said that, Elton John had stopped talking. And the word fag just sang out. Everyone in the room's freaking the fuck out. They're all turning around. Of course they think it's fucking me. I'm elbowing DJ like probably a good time to come out. I'd come out right fucking now. Elton John looks up from his piano, stares at us. The room goes silent. Now let's break down what just happened there. Elton John's at the 3-hour mark of his farewell tour. He gave a lovely speech and someone yelled out fag. Who must have Elton thought that person was? Like, did he think it was someone who really hated him and had come after show after show after show and was like, if I don't say it now, I'll never say it? Or did he think it was someone who had just figured it out? Maybe someone who'd bought the albums, listened to the music, never seen the outfits. And he's sitting there with his wife like this. He wears an awful lot of sequins, doesn't he? You know what I think? I think he might be a fag! So the next day, I'm performing in San Diego, and DJ came along with me to my show, right? And so he's sitting in the wings, And I tell the Elton John story that night. And I'm on stage, I'm telling it, and I'm not mentioning his name because I didn't want anyone to know it's him. And then he just walked on stage out of nowhere. He came on, I sort of look at him like, what the fuck's Deej doing, man? And he's... and he took the microphone from me and he went, it was me. I'm gay. And the whole place erupted. And then he just waved goodnight. And then he went back and he tweeted about it right away. Tweeted about it so he couldn't take it back. And that's how he came out. And then we went out that night and everyone was so excited for him. People from the show were coming up, giving him drinks and hugs and taking photos, and everyone, it was one of the best fucking nights I've ever had. Coming out looks like a lot of fun. Like I was getting jealous. Because, you know, as a hetero, we've got nothing. Which brings us to the trans people. Look, hot topic in comedy, a lot of people talking about it. I personally, I've worked with trans people for 20 years in this business. I have no issue with trans people. I think it must be a very hard life. And if there was a surgery that I could have for me to stop hating myself, I'd fucking take it. So I get it, it's not an easy choice, right? And then, so I got no problems with trans people. And then I see all the comedians, and there's Chappelle and Gervais, and they told those jokes, and everyone got upset, and there was all this press, right? And I have no problem with trans people, but I do like press. So here we go. As I said, I like trans people. Do you want to know why I like trans people? I like anyone who's got a good story. If we're at a party and you tell me you've cut your dick off, you've caught my attention. I'll sit and chat to you for a while. I feel like you might have some tales to tell. Can I empathise completely with a trans person? I try to, but I can't really, because I'll never know what it's like to hate the body I'm living in. So, oh, hang on, I do. I've never understood this argument. I hated the body I live in. That's like 98% of us. 98% of us get out of the shower and see ourselves in the mirror and go, oh. But I've never wanted to cut me dick off, and that's a fundamental difference. But I do consider myself